Good afternoon.
Hello, mate.
How are we doing, Chris? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to see you. You right?
Good to see you. Yeah, really good, thanks. I've just come off a 2 hour Teams meeting, which was lovely. It's not something I'm normally used to. I've been put forward for this. So within our company, there's like an employee forum, and obviously they've picked people out of every different department, and our company, I don't know, goes there's something like 9,000 employees across the world. So I don't know whether it was a volunteered or voluntold, but essentially, I'm more used to being out on the tools and not having to do much computer time, and I've just sat in the team for 2 hours and struggling to stay awake. But
Well,
no, it's all good.
did you partake in it, or were you just there
Yeah, so
listening?
I'm representing the customer service side of Dematic. So we have a project team. We have obviously finance, legal, procurement, and then where all our kit gets put in different contracts. So TK Maxx, Tesco, ASOS. We have the site teams, which is what I do. So I'm representing a region of site teams and all the engineers that have issues on welfare, well-being, anything like that. They'll come to me, and then I'll put it forward to the team of people from all the different departments, and then the chair of that team will then put it into leadership and
Right.
then try and get some answers. So yeah,
I,
it's been interesting.
I thought you were
it's
off this week.
I am off.
Oh, mate, you
I
shouldn't be
know.
having to sit on 2 hour Zoom calls on your week
Oh,
off.
I know. I'm gutted, but we only do like four a year, so I thought
Right.
I can just sit. I thought it was scheduled 10 till 12, and I thought there's no way this is gonna last 2 hours. I was like maybe half an hour top. Quarter past 12 we got off, so
Oh, mate,
it is
it's
what it is.
draining.
It is what it
Yeah.
is. So, how are you doing? You good?
Yeah, mate, I'm all good. Just yeah, just it seems
Busy.
to be, well, it is never ending, isn't it? Business is
Yeah,
never ending, but
yeah.
yeah, no, it's good. Just restructuring, doing a lot of restructuring, really.
Right.
Simplifying things.
And is the restructure because of the size? Because it's got so big that you need to change the round, or you're
Not,
just going to make it more accessible and easier to get hold of stuff and
yeah, it's more just to make the client experience better, more streamlined, more like a clear ascension model as well.
sure.
So, like there's the free community, and then
Yeah,
there's the squad paid community, and then there's like the higher ticket, like full on programs.
yeah.
So just how that's been structured, I've just been redoing it and then like adding bits of content and just making it as well, what I think is easy as possible to sort of follow and
Mm.
understand how people can access stuff, what might be best for them where they're at, and like, yeah, how they can ascend basically.
Cool. And is that something you can do all yourself? Have you had to learn along the way? Or have you got someone that can help you with that?
Um
Because how
so
do you
it's,
even begin to start to do that?
yeah, well, mate, I mean, this has been it. It's been sort of learning and
Learning
developing.
as you go along.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. But I've had a video editor, social media guy, who now like sort of does a lot of the management of the social media and creates the content. So he's been on board for like a year. So
Okay, that's good then.
T
Yeah.
TJ's, yeah, really good. Like he's taken a hell of a lot off my plate. And then I'm just last week just taking on a lady called Jen part time, who I used to work with at R&B Industrial when I was a controls engineer,
Right.
who's coming on now to help with basically client client what's the word? Like she's going to be involved in the communities and
Sure. Like
basically,
experience,
sorry.
like client experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just making sure everyone's happy really and pointing people in the right direction,
Awesome.
any, any, not that there are any, of course, but any complaints dealing
Yeah.
with those. Just making sure.
Constructive criticisms.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, mate, we're getting places. The
Brilliant.
reason I wanted to talk to you, mate, if you're okay with it, and like if you're not, that's totally cool. But I've just let me show you just to give you some context. I'll show you my screen. I've just redone my website, um, and I've just got a few customer testimonials on there,
Hmm.
um, like Zoom conversations with people, and I was wondering whether you would be willing to do like just a 15-minute conversation talking about like the control system specialist program.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no
Would that be
problem at
all
all.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anything to help you out, mate. Yeah.
Oh, that's very much appreciated, mate. If you got 10, 15 minutes now, would that be doable?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
Oh, legend. Thanks,
Don't know when I'll
Tony.
next get you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that'd be really good, mate. Well, basically, like it's, mate, you don't have to. Obviously, I will cut, I will edit this video so it's like we're gonna start from afresh in a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
second. But
Uh-huh.
like, mate, like just an honest conversation. Like you don't have to sell me or anything. Like literally, it's just a conversation. I kind of just want to give give people that are watching a bit of background on you, like how you found
Sure.
us, like what you were doing. You know, just a conversation, really, mate. That's all it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be.
that's fine, mate. Yeah.
Cool. Well, mate. Well, Tony, thanks for putting aside the time to do this, buddy. Just like a bit of context for anyone that's watching this in the future. Like, what would you describe yourself as now? Like your role, your position, and that.
So currently a maintenance engineer. So I came from a background of majority electrical and avionic engineering, um, which was I did 10 years in the aviation industry, and then recently, I say recently, it's been a couple of years now, but I've joined a site where I do a lot of mechanical and electrical engineering now in the automation industry. So um, more biased electrical engineering, but I do a lot of mechanical stuff as well. So
And so, yeah, it's the Dematic. Is that how it's pronounced?
Dematic, yeah, yeah, the like a supply chain logistics solutions expert. So we deliver projects that are good for companies that deal with a high number of storage, automatic storage and retrieval systems. So we have various different cranes, like multi-shuttle systems. We offer pick and palletize, lidding roboting solutions. We have automatic guided vehicles
Wow. Okay.
and stuff like that. So huge operations. And it's been a big learning curve for me, but we're getting there now, just about.
So it's like logistical automation, robotic automation, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oh, cool. That's yeah, mate. Well, I've seen Dematic, but I didn't really know just the depths of
yeah.
what
There's
they do.
well, it, depending on where you are and what you're doing, you could work for Dematic your whole career and still not touch on different bits of kit that they have just because of where you are.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in that my site has quite a few different bits of kit where some sites will just have cranes and that's it. So you're in this routine of servicing cranes day in day out. Whereas we're lucky that we have three palletizing robots, a lidding robot from Yachts, which are great bits of kit. We have five SRM cranes, so like tote to racking to cranes, and we have 40 multi-shuttle cranes. We have loads of goods on hanger conveyor systems,
Yeah.
like chain systems, lots of different conveyors, palletizing conveyors, small tote conveyors. So all run off PLCs. You know, various different sensors and
Yeah.
weigh scales and a variety of stuff. So no
Cool.
day is the same where I
No.
work, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, mate. Well, that's the beauty of this industry and being in like controls and automation. It's always, if you're in the right bit, there's always something different to do.
Correct. Yeah.
What, because so you were like a really early member of control system specialist. Can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can you remember like this was what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah. It's probably like February, March time, 2 years ago, I'd say. I think.
Yeah. Can you
But
no, go on, mate, go on.
I think that initially, for me, I remember seeing you on Instagram. I think that's when I
I was
first
going to
saw you,
ask.
and you were doing control panel reels and information. And for me, coming from aviation into the automation world, seeing your videos was like, oh wow, I could do with some a little extra hand. And you don't always want to go via your company for that, because you kind of almost want to have that knowledge on your own back before you start a new position. So that's what reached out to me really, was that, look, I'm going from an aircraft to huge 400-volt control panels in a warehouse.
So
that's what I needed help with, really.
Had you started, because you were going from avionics to then like this automation position with Dematic. Had you already landed that position with Dematic and you were trying to get up to speed?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So they knew my experience, they knew everything about me, but they were willing to take me on and teach me, because of my experience and my attitude, I think, and my willingness to learn. And I've done a lot of courses through Dematic, so I'm quite confident with F7 now and Tia and all stuff that I'd never used before, which is great. But from day one, I wanted a bit of extra tuition and education just on the side that I can, there's a standard that I like to hold myself to, and if I don't know something, then I'll just research it and try and find out myself. And obviously that's where you came in and helped me that way.
So just thinking back 2 years ago, like what was it that you would say you were struggling the most with in terms of like controls and automation, would you say?
Probably just open up a panel and not really having any idea what was going on. I've studied the basics, so a relay is a relay, contact a contact, but putting it all together in terms of an automation stand-in and order is something I've not seen before. So just seeing the process of a panel being built from start to finish helped massively. In that, when I was looking at it, I knew where everything was going. I had a better idea of fault finding, and just component knowledge, stuff like that. Just all added to helping me out, really.
Yeah, okay. And because you mentioned a second ago, like the Siemens stuff, like the PLC, the programming stuff, like that's like how I go through things. That's kind of like one of the final things, the final piece of the puzzle. And I sort of talk about understanding the stuff that underpins the PLC programming.
Yeah.
Did you feel going through the program helped you understand what's underpinning the PLC programming?
Absolutely, yeah. And I kind of learned it a bit mismatched, because I was on the PLC course, learning how to code sensors and motors and stuff, and then I learned the stuff through your course, and then it kind of, that underpinning foundations all kind of connectors, like connect the dots. But yeah, we do a lot of Siemens stuff, and it really helps. Yeah, it really did.
That's good, man. Can you think back, like, did you have any initial concerns or hesitations? Like after we talked about the program and, I'm in an RM about potentially coming on board, like before you pulled the trigger, did you have any concerns, hesitations?
I think the concern, hesitation is obviously it's the unknown. Like, I didn't know you personally. I didn't know how liable the course was, whether it was actually what I needed or not. These are, I guess, natural things you just think of before you buy anything, really. But as soon as I spoke to you on, I think I spoke to you on the phone, and after we had a conversation, I knew straight away that you were on the same wavelength as I was. It was the same type of stuff that I was wanting to learn. So after that, there's no doubt, really.
Yeah, it's totally natural, isn't it, to feel that way? I think a lot of people do.
And there's a lot of stuff out there as well. So it's, especially this world of social media now, you can get a bit bogged down in it all, can't you? So it's deciphering the good from the bad.
Yeah. What was it then that made you pull the trigger in the end then, would you say?
I think the offer you were giving me was very good. I like the idea that it was new, so I was one of the first people to do it. So I think that was good in that I was new to it, you were new to it. We were kind of working things out together. If any questions I had, was going to help you out as well. So you were always
Yeah.
there on the phone straight away to answer any questions I had, which is what you did. So that was really helpful. I didn't feel as though it was a course. It felt like it was a one-on-one tuition, if that makes sense. And that's really important, I think, for someone who wants to learn and understand something that they're not that sure on, rather than just getting answers back on the screen. You know, you've got a Zoom call or you've got a phone call, and someone's talking to you, explaining to you straight away. That's
Mm.
you know, massively helpful. So
I appreciate
yeah,
that, mate.
it was really
So
helpful.
what? So if you had to choose one thing from that program, what would you say helped you the most?
Um, there was a time I found myself with an isolator switch that had broke, and I needed to rebuild the door. And if I hadn't followed the program, I feel like I would have managed it. But like a few days before that happened, it was like fate. It was really strange. A few days before it happened, I'd watched the process of how you built the door and used a laser, and you got your isolator switch perfect. And I followed that step for step. And my boss was like, "Well, really great job there, Tony."
I
And I
really...
just took it on the chin and said it was all me. You know, walked off all happy, and it was
Damn right, mate.
it was all from your cause. You know, so that was a really proud like moment for me that could use it and then put it to real life,
Yeah.
a
Oh,
real
that's
life
awesome.
instance, which is brilliant. I've done that a few times now, and now it's just second nature.
Your boss is
Schematics,
like, oh, we made a good hire here in hiring
yeah, no,
Tony. He
oh,
knows his
yeah.
shit,
I'm
man.
glad I took the risk. Schematic wise, we do a lot of stuff with electrical drawings. I've done a lot of stuff with electrical drawings in my past, but obviously very different aircraft drawings are to on-site drawings, BMS stuff, control panel drawings, a lot different. So learning the routes just from mains to PSUs to relays to contactors, that all tied in really well with the stuff I have on site as well. So that was really useful. Um, so yeah,
That's
no, it's been
that
good,
that
really good.
I appreciate it, man. That that is a really scary moment. When you've basically finished the panel and you've got to do the isolator and you've got to drill the door when you've finished everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, I have to I find myself like checking it 5, 6 times before actually drilling or
Yeah,
cutting
that's
any
it.
holes.
And the hard thing is, it's not in a natural environment, in at home where I can take my time. I can like there's customer pressure,
Yeah.
conveyors down, so output production of TK Maxx isn't happening until I get this job done. So yeah, it was scary, but it all went fine. Thanks instruction and the the learning I'd had previously a few days before. So
Fate, mate.
yeah,
Like you
all
said,
good,
fate.
all good.
Oh, that's cool. What? Because I speak to quite a few people, and it just strikes me that businesses in this industry, they don't, I mean, what training? Obviously, like we can talk about MVQs, we can talk about HNCs, we can talk about going on like manufacturer PLC trainings,
Yeah.
but yeah, I genuinely don't mean to put you on the spot with anything, but like, why do you feel they don't have this sort of type of training? Why don't you
Um,
get
I,
this training on the job kind of thing?
I think that's what it is. I think if it's something you're not unsure on, then whoever you're working with will 9 times out of 10 have the experience. So you kind of just pick up stuff from them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's on the job stuff, especially on site specific places. You could have worked in automation for many, many years and gone to a new site. If you don't have the site specific knowledge, then
Mm.
you need someone who works there to tell you that. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure really. I think maybe you're expected to know this, or if you don't, then a lot of it will be from on-site engineers. Will pass the knowledge on to you. I think that's kind of the done thing. Um, but there's not really many specific courses like what you do out there. Like you say, you've got your S7 courses, your TIA courses, specific to Siemens or you know
Mm.
You've got your ASI network courses, but when it comes to just general like panel building and test building and like card crash course and stuff like that, it's like I don't think my company probably don't offer that. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't really
It's,
know what's out there. It's kind of
yeah,
unknown, isn't it? There's not a lot out there. I don't think.
it's more of those, it's one of those things that you learn on site through
I think
experience
so.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. Would you say this this program is it like gives you a certain level of experience?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think if I hadn't used the program, I think I probably will be where I am now, but I think it would have been a lot further down the line.
Yeah.
It just gave me more exposure to instances and situations, um, to look at, to go through on the course, but before it happening in real life. So when something did happen in real life, I'd already seen it.
Yeah.
So
Because I think this is something that, and it's probably how job descriptions are written, where like recruiters or hiring managers, they talk about experience, experience in this. And I think, me as well, back in the day would see, oh, you need experience in this, and I just automatically would think, oh, well, that's like time served. I need 5 years
yeah,
experience in this. And sometimes they do actually say, time, 5 years or 2 years in this. But what I've learned, is it's like especially being a business owner now, it's like, well, time served is kind of meaningless. Like someone could
yeah,
serve 20 years in an industry and just do enough to not get
yeah,
fired kind of thing.
yeah. And if that's it, do the bare minimum. Then you've got someone who's done 2 or 3 years, who's pushed himself, learned
Yeah.
everything they need to learn, and will actually be a lot better off having the lesser experienced person than the 20-year guy.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think people just get maybe put off or scared off when they associate experience with time served, when actually it's, what do you actually know? What can you actually offer a business? How can you be
yeah,
valuable to them?
yeah, I agree. I think it starts at the very beginning as well, sending a CV, and how do you explain that on a CV? Because
Yeah.
all you can say is obviously how long you've done something. I know you can write what you know within that, but if they're looking at, oh, this guy's been doing this for 20 years and 3 years without even seeing you, just having your CV, how can you get that point across without them instantly just throwing yours aside and looking at the one who's been there the longest?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean that's key. It's like it's positioning yourself within the CV, because the CV is like like it's getting past the
yeah,
gatekeeper
step one,
almost.
yeah,
Step one, yeah. So if your CV's not positioning you as someone that's going to offer value and be able to fulfill on that role that's being advertised, like it's a competition. You're
yeah,
not gonna get past that first hurdle. So it's so important to make sure you're positioned correctly, specifically for the role that they're recruiting for, and
hmm
you can dial that in and tailor that, with a bit of with a bit of work. But yeah, man, sorry, I'm gonna starting to waffle.
no, you're all good.
No, Tony, stay on the call, mate. But yeah, really appreciate you putting time aside to do this, mate. Thank you very much.
No problem, and thank you for the program. Like I say, first hands helped me massively, so can't recommend it enough.
All right, mate. Thank you. Cheers, Tony.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye. Yeah, all right, mate. Well, thank you.
No, no worries.
That was much appreciated, mate.
No
Appreciate it.
problem at all. No problem at all. Anytime.
What's the plan for you now then? Like, where do you should have probably asked
So,
this on the call, but
I mean, so
where are you going?
initially for me, it was obviously learning a bit about control panels and BMS systems and the schematics around all that, and now I've kind of got that under my belt a little bit. I'm happy where I'm at currently. 2 years has absolutely flown by, so which is obviously a good sign. Um, I work shifts, so currently only work 13 days a month. It is a mixture of days and nights, not many nights, but there's a few in there. So it's not something I want to do forever. Um, I would love to continually focus in on um, controls and panel building. And honestly, I would love to be my own boss and do this full time, out of my converted garage at some point, probably, as I get a little bit older. So, especially when I have kids and stuff, I'd like the idea of running my own hours, doing my own jobs.
Yeah.
So
How old are
it's
you?
something 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same as me, mate. Oh no, I'm
So
35 now.
I'm 35 next week. So
Oh yeah, basically same
yeah,
age, mate.
yeah. So no, I'm going to obviously stay. I come and go with the community that you've built, depending on what I'm doing. I live a bit of a hectic life, but ultimately there'll be a point in the future where I want to probably start taking on some jobs, starting small, maybe doing like residential smart homes.
Right, that's
And,
where you want
and
to go, is it? Smart home,
I
like.
think so. I work and live in Cheshire, so there's
Ah,
a lot of really really expensive housing around Oldley Edge, Wilmslow. So I think there's a bit of a market there for that type of thing. Um,
mate,
so
you would be so good at, going down that route, like, because you're so personable, like you just stand out compared to a lot of other people that would be going into that industry,
yeah,
because a lot of them are just kind of like electricians, one man bands, and they don't really have communication skills, like salesman skills, business skills, just
yeah,
general sort of. So like if you were almost, I wouldn't advise you to go into like doing installation work, like sub that out to electricians. But if you were
yeah,
like to do the selling, the specifying, the designs, the
hmm,
panel build if you wanted to, but you could sub that out as well.
yeah,
Um, Obviously sub out the install and then just do like the final commissioning and programming,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then set up like a maintenance contract with these clients, so you're starting to build up a recurring revenue. Mate,
Hmm.
you would smash it, seriously.
I think that getting from where I am now to that bit in between is where my head can't comprehend. So it's
Yeah,
like how do I get from here to there? And that's I find really difficult. Um, but I know that's what I kind of want to do. So um,
well, is how
yeah,
flexible is Dematic with like part-time,
to be
going part?
completely yeah, I basically work 5 on, then I have 4 off, then I have 5 on,
Oh,
then I have 5 off, and then I'm in for 3, then I have
oh,
6 off. So
fuck me,
there's a lot of time in the month that I'm off, twiddling my thumbs, just thinking, I could be earning
mate,
a lot
mate,
more
you've
money
got
here.
huge opportunity there.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Seriously, so you don't even have to,
Uh,
because like how I did it, I was full-time employed, set up a business on the side, so I was doing stuff like evenings, weekends,
yeah,
and then I went down to like 3 days a week with the company that I was with. So like then Thursday, Friday, weekends, I was doing my own thing, and then eventually just went full-time self-employed. So
yeah.
if you've got like four
That's kind
days,
of
five,
where, yeah, what I'd
mate, you
like to
wouldn't even
do.
have to go part-time.
Right.
Um, yeah, mate.
So it'd just be, yeah, setting up a business, I guess, first thing, and then I guess I need a business model. What do I actually want to do
Yeah.
specifically?
Well, what do you want to do first? That's the key thing. Like
Yeah,
really, really
and then
work out
obviously
what you want to do.
going from there. I guess the scary thing is if I get to the point where I'm doing something I don't know the answer, there's no one else to look to because I'm the only one there. Do you know what I mean? There's no,
Yeah, yeah. So
and
that's
having not worked with any smart home panel, components or PLCs, that's all new to me. So I'll have to obviously study that and get my head around that first. Um, but I feel like it's something I could pick up. So yeah, I don't know.
it's
I'm in no massive rush, but that I definitely want to get to that position.
yeah, mate. Well,
So
I think you'd smash it. The PLC side, like it's the same thing. Like if you're clued up on Siemens,
yeah,
then like for example, like the lock Are you familiar with Loxon? Have you seen me talk
Well,
about?
only from what I've heard from you. Yeah, that's about it. I've not actually seen one in person or got my hands
Yeah.
on one before. So
So that's what I'd encourage you to go down, because if you're going from Siemens to Loxon, like Loxon, they just make it really stupid simple.
right,
And it's a PLC based system, inputs,
yeah,
outputs. Yeah, it's just really good, mate. So like if that's the route that you wanted to go down, that would probably be just getting a mini server, like their main controller. Um,
hmm,
because you can, beauty of it is you can download their software, download the application for mobile, and get familiar with it. Like, and there's no barriers to entry. Like, you don't need a license key, you don't need to go on their training.
sure.
um so if you wanted to start tinkering, getting familiar with it, I'd go down that route.
Well, just getting the server.
Yeah, just get the mini server. Yeah. And then what you mentioned about like the support side of it, like obviously you get support if you become a partner with them, so you'd have to go on the 5 day training.
Hmm.
You'd then get a discount off their hardware as well. But
Okay.
then they provide technical support. But then that only goes so far. But then that's why I'm creating things like the academy squad,
Yeah,
so
but and that's you'd be the guy I'd call if I had any issue.
mate, but that's the idea. That's kind of where things are headed. Certainly with squad,
Hmm.
people that want to go self-employed or that are self-employed, that are business owners, like having that community of people all doing a similar thing.
Yeah,
And even like calling on people to contract them in to help on site if they've got a specific skill set in an area, like networking, for example, like any complex networking stuff, I just call in a guy that I know to do it.
yeah, sure.
So yeah, but that's mate. Seriously, you should really consider it, Tony, because you'd smash it, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's on my mind. It's definitely something I want to do. So yeah, I guess I'll start putting stuff together and seeing what happens.
Well, good man. Well, enjoy your week off. I hope you haven't got any more 2 hour Zoom calls.
No, that's it. I'm off to Hereford tomorrow, fishing all day, so
Oh, nice. That'll be a
that'll be
nice
nice.
change.
Yeah, so nice and peaceful.
All right, mate. Well, keep me in the loop. Keep me
I will
updated.
do, absolutely, Chris. Hope it all goes well. If you need anything from me, just let me know. Always happy to help.
Oh, you're a legend, mate. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chris.
See you, mate. Bye
Speak
bye.
soon. Ta-ra, ta-ra.